Hey, third graders. Today we're talking about the Michigan Constitution, and your learning target is to explain why we have a state constitution and what that constitution does for us. You know you've got it good if you get 4 or 5 right on the quiz following. First, I want to mention Wessler. Some of you may have talked about Wessler with your teacher earlier. They had a government when they first started their town made up of all the grown-ups, all the adults were the government of Wessler. And they decided that it did not work. They decided to try a representative government instead. So they elected 12 people to be the government of Wessler. These 12 people made all the laws and decisions. They decided right away that all the people of Wessler should give them presents because they were the government. They made a law that said anyone who didn't give them a present would be put in jail. And they also passed a law that said everyone had to put a big sign on their lawn that said, "We love the government." And they passed another law that said anyone who complained about the government had to leave Wessler. I think Wessler needs a better plan. I'm wondering if that's really representative government. Do you think they voted for somebody who would make those laws? So then we get to a constitution. The Constitution is the written plan for the government. Michigan's Constitution started in 1835. Remember, they had enough people, and then in 1837 is when Michigan became a state. So the United States has a constitution that gives us a plan for the whole country, but each state also has a plan for what is allowed in each state. Michigan has a state constitution. And usually what a constitution does is it limits the government. The government can only do what the people have given it the power to do. That's part of the representative government. Is the Constitution says they can't just do whatever they want. Now, Michigan's Constitution laid out some very important ideas for the people. One of them was they said the power of government belonged to the people. And we've already talked about representative government, who is the voice, okay? And that's the government belonging to the people. They also divided the different powers of government, the different things that government can do, into 3 sections or branches. And then the Constitution also includes many rights for people, for all of us. It's not always about the people that are elected and their powers, but we, as citizens, have rights and responsibilities as well. When they divided the powers of government into the 3 sections or the branches, they gave them the names: the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. We'll talk about all of those, but we've already talked about with our representative government who represents us. So the Senate, which is all the senators, and the House of Representatives, they are both in the legislative branch, the lawmaking branch of the government. So with our representative government, the people give the power to the leaders that they elect. So the Constitution put more limitations on the powers of the government leaders. Like I said, they can't just do whatever they want just because they got elected. When they revised that Constitution, they increased the number of state elected officials. If you remember, when we looked at a representative government, there was 2 numbers by Muskegon, 92 and 91. So the city of Muskegon had enough voters, they wanted 2 different representatives. And they also made a change so that the governor, who is Governor Whitmer right now, served for 4 years instead of 2 years. So that gives you just an idea of the Constitution. I want you to think about how that Constitution might make a difference for the people in Wessler. Now, maybe they don't want theirs exactly the same, but I think if Wessler came up with a Constitution, maybe it would help keep the limits of the government, because I don't think they have the voice of the people in a representative government when they put them in jail for not giving them a present. So think about how important that Constitution is and how it limits the power. It gives us rights and responsibility. Okay? It reminds the leaders that we voted for them. So go ahead and take the quiz, and I think you can do this.